জয় রাধা মাধব কুঞ্জ বিহারী। গোপীজন বল্লভ গিরিবরধারী। গোপীজন বল্লভ গিরিবরধারী। জয় রাধা মাধব কুঞ্জ বিহারী। গোপীজন বল্লভ গিরিবরধারী। যশোদানন্দন যমুনা তীর বনচারী। যমুনা তীর জয় রাধা মাধব কুঞ্জ বিহারী। গোপীজন বল্লভ জয় রাধা মাধব কুঞ্জ হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে হরে, হরে রাম 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 Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna devotees. Welcome all the devotees who are kindly assembled here for attending this Thursday Guru Maharaj class. We are continuing the series of Garga Samhita, Krishna's pastime from Garga Samhita. So today we will be hearing from Guru Maharaj, and after the session there will be quiz. So devotees can hear attentively and can attempt the quiz. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
See, this is the thing. It's, sometimes when it's very painful to see. You read things about Vedic scriptures, and they say Hindu mythology. Hindu mythology. These are, but there is such a distinct chain of incidents. How can it be mythology? How can it be fictitious stories? This is more than history. It goes right from the origin to it's coming to the base. So this is the unfortunate state of affairs of India and Indian scholars. The British very systematically made the Indians believe that Indian literature, Indian wisdom, Indian culture, Indian philosophy is useless. Because if they didn't prove that, they couldn't rule over that country. That's why they had to make the Indians suffer from a complex. And although the British left, but the influence of the British is still prevalent. In that way, Indians are real ripe coconut. You know what is a ripe coconut? Brown outside, white inside. So, they have the complexion brown, but internally they are such deep-rooted influence of the British education system. And actually we can see what a great benefit Srila Prabhupada has brought to us. It is due to Srila Prabhupada, at least we have become aware of India's rich heritage. And irrespective of our nationality, we are accepting the Indian culture. Because it's the most profound spiritual culture, most profound philosophy, most profound literary descriptions. So this is how Srila Prabhupada is actually literally Jnananjana Shalakaya. Isn't it? Om Ajnana Timirandhasya. We all were in deep darkness of ignorance, and by the touch of his transcendental mascara of transcendental knowledge, is opening our darkened eyes. So that is why so we can see why Krishna didn't become king. Because he was not meant to be. In the Jadu dynasty, also Krishna's father Vasudeva didn't become a king. Also a prince, but he didn't become a king. And okay, so Krishna killed Kamsa, released Ugrasen and Vasudeva and Devaki. The union of Devaki and Vasudeva with Krishna we described yesterday. It was such a touching scene. The father actually described this morning. Just consider the parents met two lost children after so many years. They haven't, since their birth, they didn't see them. And not only see them, they had to go through so many difficulties, so many tribulations, imprisoned, tortured. But they tolerated everything for the sake of their son. So now they met their son. So it was a very, very joyous occasion. Then Nanda Maharaj embraced Vasudeva, their friends. So Krishna requested, why don't you stay here for some time? Nanda Maharaj said that, no, I have to go. Krishna, will you come with us? Won't you come with us? Krishna said, look, I have to stay here. You see, I met my parents after such a long time. So they're expecting me to stay here for some time. But don't worry, I'll come soon. So Nanda Maharaj with tearful eyes, with all the residents of cowherd boys and cowherd folks left. This is another very, very touching scene actually. Just imagine, they had been such close friends, Krishna and all those cowherd boys. From morning till night they were together. Sometimes the cowherd boys would not even go home. When Krishna went home, they just slept under a tree. Thinking, waiting that okay, when morning will come, then Krishna will be able to see Krishna again. There was such close intimacy. And now they have to leave Krishna and Balaram behind. So they're going back. They have to go back to Vrindavan. It's a very painful situation. And then anyway, they had to part. And Krishna and Balaram received their Upanayan, sacred thread ceremony. Their initiation, Garga Muni initiated them. It's the custom of a Kshatriya to have the Upanayan that is brought to a guru. Then the consideration was who would be Krishna's teacher. They need to go to Gurukul. All these years they just stayed in Vrindavan, tended cows, did not get any education. So they have to get education. Who would be the guru? Krishna suggested Santi Panimuni. Now, interesting thing to note is Santi Panimuni was not actually a devotee of Vishnu. He was a devotee of Lord Shiva. So why did Krishna select Santi Panimuni as his guru? Because if he selected a Vaishnava guru, the Vaishnava guru would not be able to teach. But there is hope that Santi Panimuni, who is a follower of Lord Shiva, won't be that respectful towards Krishna. So would treat him more like a student. So Krishna stayed in Santi Panimuni's ashram for 64 days. And in these 64 days, Krishna mastered all 64 arts. It took one day to master one subject. All the subjects that one can possibly think of, Krishna mastered. That included also learning the language of the animals and the birds. Krishna could communicate with the animals and birds. Not only just the philosophy, history, etc. Not only just art of warfare, not only the art of dancing and singing. So every single aspect of art was mastered by Krishna in this way. So it's a custom that after one gets the education, then one must give his guru dakshina. Those days there was no monthly fees in going to school. The whole education was free. Only at the end the disciple had to give the dakshina to the guru. So when Krishna and Balaram went to his guru and told that, Gurudev, please tell me what kind of dakshina we can give you. Santi Panimuni thought, he said, that what can I ask from them? He said, okay, I'll go and ask my wife. His wife said that, look, ever since these two boys came, I forgot the agony of losing my son. So now that they leave, my house will become empty again. And these two boys are not ordinary boys. So let us ask something unusual from them. Please ask him to bring back my dead son. Bring back my dead son. So Santi Panimuni, being advised by his wife, went and told Krishna that I went and asked my wife, and she said that if you want to give any dakshina, then please bring back my son. What happened to your son? He went to Prabhash Tirtha, and there he got drowned. So Krishna and Balaram then immediately went to Prabhash on a chariot, got a very wonderful chariot. They came to Prabhash and called the ocean god. So he immediately came, ocean god, Varundev, with many wonderful gifts from the depth of the ocean. And please tell me, what can you do? My guru's son drowned here, so bring him back. So ocean said, no, it's not me that took the son. There is a demon called Panchajanya. So he actually stole the son. Oh, Panchajanya, where is he? That demon stays at the depth of the ocean. So Krishna and Balaram immediately dove into the water, and they, at the depth of the ocean, they found Panchajanya, a terrible demon, who was hiding himself in a huge conch shell. So he attacked Krishna with the trident, and he hurled the trident at Krishna. Krishna caught the trident, and he hurled it back. And it pierced Panchajanya's body. But still he pulled it out and started to fight with Krishna. So in this way, for a long time they fought, and then finally Krishna killed Panchajanya. But when he went inside that conch shell, couldn't find the child. What happened? The child is now at the abode of Jamaraj. So Krishna took that conch shell. That is how Krishna actually got his conch shell. Panchajana Rishikesha. You remember? Krishna's conch shell is Panchajana. So Krishna went to Jamaraj's abode, Sangjamini Puri. And from outside he blew the conch shell. And the sound of the conch shell vibrated the whole planet. And it is said that there are 8,400,000 chambers, or rather sections of Jamalaya. Sorry. And whoever heard the sound got delivered. Even from Jamalaya, just by hearing Krishna's conch shell's vibration, they became delivered. So hearing the sound, Jamaraj came out, fell at Krishna's feet. Jamaraj is a great devotee of Krishna, right? So that's why I say that even if we go to Jamalaya for some reason, devotees generally don't go to Jamalaya, Jamaraj's abode, because devotees are free from sinful reactions because they have surrendered to Krishna. And Jamaraj also told Jamadutas that when you see people with kantimala, tilak in the body, don't go near them. From a distance you offer obeisances and about turn. So that way, that's how we can see that devotees are beyond Jamaduta's jurisdiction, Jamaraj's jurisdiction. So, but just in case we have to go to Jamaraj, just in case we forget to put the tilak and kantimala, and Jamadutas come and grab us and drag us to the Jamalaya, what will we naturally do? Offer obeisances. Isn't it a great delight won't it be a great delight to see Jamaraj, one of the 12 Mahajans? Mancha Kalpatar Parscha, offering obeisances. And at that time Jamaraj also will say, oh, after a long time found a devotee association. So this is how, even if a devotee has to go to Jamaraj's abode, nothing to worry about. But don't forget to offer obeisances to him. That's the secret of spiritual success. And so Jamaraj came out and he asked, I'm so fortunate that finally you came to me. Please tell me, what can I do? So Krishna told that this boy drowned, his guru's son. And then Jamaraj brought him back. So this is how Krishna and Balaram brought the son of Santi Panimuni back to life and offered him back to his guru. That's how he paid the Guru Dakshina. And then Krishna, as he promised to Akrura, he went to Akrura's house. Remember? When Akrura brought Krishna to Mathura, he requested him to come to his house. He said, no, not now, but I'll come after I kill Kamsa. Because this is the custom. That when somebody goes with certain, until and unless the mission is accomplished, he doesn't do anything else. He's focused onto his mission. I have come here to kill Kamsa. I'll first kill Kamsa and then all the other things. Yes, Sandipan, Akrura, I'll go to your house. Yes, Kubja, I'll go to your house. So he went to Akrura's house, and after some, Akrura was so pleased to see him. He did not. Pandavas were persecuted in so many ways. But when he met Kunti and the Pandavas, Akrura had another wonderful realization. that although the Pandavas had gone through so many tribulations, so many difficulties, but they were happy. And what is the secret of their happiness? The secret of their happiness was that all these difficulties have forced them to surrender to Krishna and take shelter of Krishna. So they just took the advantage of it. Yes, material difficulties have come, but those difficulties have forced me to become more dependent, more surrendered unto Krishna. Although harassed by the Kauravas, they placed all their faith in Krishna. So this is we find in the devotees. Like the other day, yesterday, we discussed about Prahlad Maharaj in the Bhagavatam class. Like, difficulties do not deter the devotees from away from Krishna. Rather, they make them more dependent upon Krishna. So this is how Akrura brought the message of the Pandavas. Then Krishna went to Kubja's house with Uddhava, and Krishna spent some time with her. Then Krishna, understanding the condition of the residents of Vrindavan, sent Uddhava to Vrindavan. And the residents of Vrindavan, seeing Uddhava, they thought that Krishna has come. Because Uddhava looked like Krishna, had similar features as Krishna. And Uddhava used to wear the dresses that has been used by Krishna. So he was actually wearing the dress just like Krishna. And he also came driving with the same chariot that Akrura came to take Krishna. So seeing from a distance, the residents of Vrindavan felt that Krishna came back. And Akrura, actually Krishna wrote letter to everyone. And he handed the letters first to Nanda Maharaj, Mother Yashoda, and other Gopas and Gopis. So this Uddhava spent some time in Vrindavan. And he was totally overwhelmed by seeing their condition, seeing their love for Krishna. Uddhava didn't have any idea how deep can one's devotion be towards Krishna. So he was so touched by their devotion that Uddhava desired to become a blade of grass in Vrindavan, so that he could get the dust from the lotus feet of the gopis. Asha maho charunore nujusha sham Vrindavane kimapi gulma taro shathina. He desired to become a creeper or a weed or a grass in Vrindavan. In Brihad Bhagavatamritam, a question arises: why Uddhava wanted to become a blade of grass? If he wanted to have the dust from the lotus feet of the gopis, why did he want to become a blade of grass? The answer to that has been given that when the gopis hear Krishna's flute, they run to meet Krishna. At that time, they do not have any awareness where is the road or where is the forest. So completely losing themselves, they run to meet Krishna. And the chances of them running through the wilderness is more than running through the road. So that's why Uddhava wanted to become blade of grass there. And when you go to Radhakund, you'll see Uddhava is still there, as a tree there. So this is the glory of Vrindavan. And if we have some time, we will go into the details of certain sections. And I would like to go through this one, Uddhava's going to Vrindavan, what he experienced. Meeting Nanda Maharaj, meeting Mother Yashoda, meeting Krishna, the cowherd boys, meeting the gopis. So Uddhava gave them the assurance that he would bring Krishna back. So when he went back, he told Krishna, Krishna, you must go to Vrindavan. And upon Uddhav's request, Krishna revisited Vrindavan. This also we'll describe later on. How Krishna visited Vrindavan, what actually happened when he visited Vrindavan, how they reacted. And in the meantime, Kamsa's wives, who were they? Who were Kamsa's wives? Two daughters of Jarasandha. So Jarasandha at that time was the most powerful king. Jarasandha also has a history. Maybe we can just discuss that. Jarasandha's father, the king of Magad, I think his name was Kshetra. So he didn't have any son. So he was very, in those days, if one didn't have a son, he used to feel very morose. You have seen that with Chitraketu. And so he also was very, very morose that he didn't have any son. So one day he came across one saintly person, and he expressed his heart's agony to them sadhus, that sage. And the sage, taking compassion upon him, gave him a mango. He said, give this to your wife and she'll have a child. So Kshetra had two wives. He was equally attached to both of them. So he didn't want to show any kind of favoritism or partiality to anyone. So he divided that mango into two and gave it to his two wives. And in course of time, both of them became pregnant, and in due course of time, both of them gave birth to one half of a dead body. So dead children are born. So those two newborn sections were thrown away. And at night, one demoness named Jara, he came across this flesh of newborn. It was a feast for her. So she was very happy to have such delicious feast. So initially she just took it up and she started to play with it. And then at one point she just joined two halves into one. And immediately the child started to cry. Came to life and started to cry. So she took pity and she thought, oh, the king doesn't have any son, so let me offer it to the king. Thinking that, she actually brought this newborn baby in front of the king's palace and left it there. So in the morning, the king saw this child. And so since the demoness Jara joined these two halves, therefore he named the baby as Jarasandha, joined by Jara. And in course of time, Jarasandha became extremely powerful. And Jarasandha couldn't be defeated by anybody. Nobody could kill him. Even Krishna couldn't kill him. Or Krishna didn't kill him, let's put it that way. The only person who could kill, you remember who killed Jarasandha? Bhima. And Jarasandha also was a very generous person. If a Brahmana came to him and asked him something, he never refused. So Krishna, when Yudhishthira Maharaj decided to perform the Rajasuya Yajna, so the Rajasuya Yajna demands that all the kings have to be subdued. Then only one could perform Rajasuya Yajna. So the biggest impediment was Jarasandha. So, and Jarasandha, Krishna knew that Jarasandha couldn't be killed ordinary way. He knew only way that he could be killed was, anyway, I'll come to that afterwards. So, it was decided that they would go to Jarasandha. Bhim, Arjun and Krishna. 3 of them disguised as Brahmanas and came to Jarasandha. So they said, Jarasandha said, look, please tell me what you want. Krishna said, I'll tell you at night. At midnight, let's meet. Jarasandha said, fine. So at midnight, Jarasandha came to meet them. And so please tell me what you want. He said, this brother of mine is very fond of wrestling. So he actually wants to wrestle with you. And Jarasandha said that I knew that you are not Brahmanas because your feature doesn't look like Brahmanas. Broad shoulder, narrow waist, powerful legs. These are the signs of the Brahmanas. And on top of that, no matter how much you are trying to hide the mark of the strings of the bow, you can't do that. So you are Kshatriyas. Who are you? I'm Krishna, this is Bhim, this is Arjun. So Jarasandha said, when the way you came, I knew that you coming as enemies. Because a friend comes from the front door, but you came from the back door. So this is how Jarasandha gave all the reasons that he figured out who they were. And Krishna said that we want a fight with you. Now you can select any one of us from 3. Jarasandha said, Krishna, you're a coward. You ran away from the battlefield. I'm not going to fight with you. Arjun is a child. But Bhima is the right match, so I'll fight with Bhima. So for a long time, for 18 days they fought. Non-stop. And no one could defeat anyone. Both of them are equally powerful. So at that time, Krishna gave some indication. That indication was, Krishna took a blade of grass and split it. That's how Bhima got the message. What is the message? Split his body. That's the only way he could be killed. He had been brought to life by joining these 2 parts and now splitting those 2 parts. So then Bhima did that. The Jarasandha posture. He put Jarasandha's leg, pressed it with his leg, and with his hand, he holding the other leg, he just gave a massive tug, and Jarasandha's body was split. Then also something amazing happened. As he left the body came and joined again. So they had to fight, again split. Then finally, Krishna indicated, don't put the bodies straight to each other, just put the other way around. The back to back. So this is how Jarasandha was killed. Anyway, this happened much afterwards. But here, Jarasandha attacked Krishna, Mathura. When he heard what happened, how Krishna killed his uncle, Kamsa, he said that I will make this world devoid of Jadus. And he collected 23 Akshavhini soldiers and attacked Jarasandha, attacked Mathura. There in Mathura there was no army because all the soldiers were Kamsa soldiers and most of them left. So practically Krishna and Balaram had to fight alone with 23 Akshohini. 23 Akshohini, well, if we put it together, it would come to about 1.4 million soldiers. 65,000 chariots, 65,000 horses, multiplied by 65,000 elephants, multiplied by 4, that many number of horses, and pedestrian, 5 times that number. So this is how one Akshohini is comprised of. And 23 times that was the collected strength of Jarasandha. And he attacked Mathura. And at that time, from Vaikuntha, 2 chariots came for Krishna and Balaram, filled with all celestial weapons. So the residents of Mathura, especially the women and elderly people, are watching what's happening outside the city wall. And they saw Krishna and Balaram with a few soldiers went. And as they went, it seemed like the ocean has engulfed them. The ocean of soldiers just surrounded them. And it looked like it's all over. But then they saw that ocean started to recede. And from the middle, Krishna and Balaram emerged. And very quickly, they diminished all the soldiers of Jarasandha. Now Jarasandha, then Balaram was fighting with Jarasandha. His chariot was broken, his chariot driver was dead, horses were dead. So Jarasandha's weapons were also cut to pieces. So Jarasandha was standing there alone, without weapon. So Balaram threw away his weapon. That's the chivalrous gesture of the warriors of Vedic time. If the enemy doesn't have a weapon, he won't be attacked with weapon. Balaram and Jarasandha fought bare hands. And finally Balaram pinned him down and he started to beat him. He was about to kill him. So Krishna just said, don't kill him, let him go. So being instructed by Krishna, Balaram decided not to kill Jarasandha. So then he let Jarasandha go. And in this way, Jarasandha attacked Mathura 17 times. And each time he attacked with 23 Akshohini soldiers. The question arises, why didn't Krishna kill Jarasandha? Then all this problem would have been solved. Again and again he is attacking, causing so much distress. The answer to that was, Krishna came to kill the demons. The world has become full of demons at that time. So Jarasandha was actually Krishna's recruiting agent for demons. 23 Akshohini annihilated. Jarasandha collected another 23 Akshohini demons and brought to Krishna. Vinashaya cha duskritam, Krishna wiped them out. And in this way, 17 times Jarasandha was defeated. His entire army was completely wiped out. But Jarasandha was allowed to go. So this is how Jarasandha attacked Mathura time and time again. But the 18th attack was quite special. So that will take some longer time. So that I'm keeping for tomorrow. The interesting 18th attack of Jarasandha and what happened. You know one thing, that Krishna is Ranchor. What's the meaning of the word Ranchor? How many Gujaratis are here? Ranchor ka matlab ki chhe? Right. Running away from the battlefield. So Krishna ran away from the battlefield. So, so that we'll discuss in our next session. And if anybody has any question, you can ask.
So Lord Krishna did become the king of Mathura, but then later he became the king of Dwarka. Is there anything?
No, there also he was the prince. Although he's called Dwarkadhish, Ugrasena was the king. Yeah?
You said that Krishna and Balaram received Vinaya, sacred crowns, right? So even though they are princes, but they still allowed to, whereas Kshatriya is allowed to wear around the pets.
Kshatriya? They were Brahmin trained. Yeah. Now what's your question?
I just was going.
Yeah, King Brishabhana's daughter was Sharmishta and Devjani was Sukracharya's daughter. Hare Krishna.
When Krishna went into Mathura, he met many servants who had come to him, and but how they reacted to Krishna was different. So the washman was inimical, the scripture was favourable to Krishna. So how do we best place ourselves that when we meet Krishna or the Guru or representative, that we don't turn away from him, that we actually get the mercy, as it were?
No, but take a mic.
Thank you very much. So when Krishna went into Mathura, he met various servants of Kamsa, and some of them were favourable to Krishna, and some of them were inimical to Krishna. How, because we're conditioned materially, when we meet Krishna or the Guru, do we make the most of the opportunity and not be inimical, as it were? How do we decide, is it Krishna's mercy that decides which way we go?
Well, it's dependent upon the mentality of the person. Those who are, you see, the ultimate consideration is how materially one is motivated. You see, more materialistic we are, more averse we'll be to Krishna. So, it is, you see what happens, materialistic attitude develops out of false ego. The false ego makes us think that we are the greatest, we are the best, we are the controller, we are the enjoyer, right? And when we harbor that attitude, we cannot really surrender to Krishna. When we have this false ego, then we tend to lord over everything and want everyone else to become our servants. We don't want to become a servant of anyone, right? Therefore, it is very important that we get rid of our false ego, get rid of our tendency to exploit and enjoy this material nature. Rather, develop an understanding and attitude that everything should be engaged in Krishna's service and Krishna's pleasure. And that is why it's so important to hear more and more about Krishna.
Who is Jarasandha and the other pastimes?
The Jarasandha in the other pastimes, I have to check that. So, any other question? Yeah.
Thank you very much for the very nice description of Krishna's prospects. I think Guru Maharaj, I'd like to thank you very much for very nice functions of Lord Krishna's activities. I would have a question about Tilak. You know, you said when we wear a Kantimala and we put a Tilak, if the young dudes come, they take about time. Now, if he takes the tilak with water in the nose every day, I do put the tilak on the body, is it okay?
Maybe the Jamdutas have special vision. To also recognize the watermarks. Well, the ultimate consideration is the state of our consciousness. That is the most important consideration. You know, like, although it has been said, you know, tilak and kantimala, but the ultimate consideration is the state of our consciousness. How we are internally. If we are internally like pure, they'll see that. Yes? Give her the mic.
Krishna Maharaj, thank you for the wonderful talk. I have this question, if you can explain, how come Treta Yuga comes before Dwapar?
Good question. The question is, how come Treta Yuga comes before Dwapar? General sequence is Satya, Dwapar, Treta, Kali. But this particular, cycle, the 28th Manvantar of Vaivashata Manu, there is a switch of Treta and Dwapar. Main reason is Krishna will come in Dwapar Yuga, right? And in the following Kali Yuga, Krishna will come as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now see, if it happened in Dwapar, then Treta, then Kali, then the long gap, everybody would have forgotten Krishna. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's significance couldn't be recognized. Therefore, what happened, there is this arrangement that Treta will come before Dwapar so that Krishna will perform his pastimes towards the end of Dwapar. And as he would leave the planet, Kali Yuga would begin. And then 4,500 years will go by, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will come, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will indicate who this Krishna is and what is the specialty of Krishna's Vrindavan Leela. Because Krishna's Vrindavan Leela is not enacted in every Dwapar Yuga. It happens only once in a day of Brahma, right? And in Brahma's day there are 14 Manus. The 7th Manu is Vaivashata Manu. In Vaivashata Manu's, during Vaivashata Manu's 28th Yuga cycle, in that Dwapar Yuga Krishna would come and reveal his Braja Leela. The original Supreme Personality of Godhead would come and reveal his Vrindavan pastimes. Now Vrindavan pastimes is a mystery. Vrindavan is a mystery that is not revealed to anyone. That Vrindavan is beyond Vaikuntha is not known by everyone. Even the residents of Vaikuntha do not know. So in order to make everyone understand who this Krishna, the cowherd boy, is, what Braja is, and what is the significance of Krishna's Vrindavan pastimes, Krishna came as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that is why there is a switch. Okay? Saraswati?
You once said that Krishna in Golok Vrindavan, those child pastimes are not there. That he's eternally the 6-year-old Krishna. So, does it mean that many more leelas which we don't know, or because they are such sweet pastimes? So
Yeah. Krishna's Bala Leela, childhood pastimes, and Bhoganda Leela happens only in Earth planet. Krishna is born, Krishna grows, right, and becomes youthful. So in Golok, Krishna is eternally youthful. So there they have the recollections, the memory. Oh, Krishna was born, Krishna did this, Krishna did that, and the childhood, that is the recollection of Krishna's Bhauma Leela, earthly pastimes. Right? So there, those pastimes are in memory, in recollections. Krishna is not being born and growing up there. That happens only in his Bhauma Leela. Therefore, some of the acharyas consider that Bhauma Leela is even superior to Krishna's Golok Leela. Yes, Sanjay. Give it to Sanjay, I named him.
Maharaj, sometimes we are praying in the worshiping of the Devi, the Krishna Bhakti and Vishnu Bhakti. Krishna Bhakti is something Vaishnavism, but Krishna Bhakti is Madhavism.
Yeah, it is persuaded Vishnu Bhakti because in the verse, in the shloka, it is written Vishnu Bhakti. That's
even Vishnu also desired to meet with Krishna.
Anyway, what I'm saying, the pranam mantra is Vishnu Bhakti. That's why it is said Vishnu Bhakti. If you want to become wiser than the composer of the verse, then you can say Krishna Bhakti.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Have a nice class. I just wanted to expand on Bhakti Mataji's question. He said that in the other mantras, Krishna Lila is not performed. Does that mean those souls who are there in other mantras don't actually experience anything to do with Krishna?
I didn't get it. Recite again.
You know, this is the 27th mantra, 28th mantra where Krishna appears, and then straight after that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears in Kali Yuga. But in the other mantras, Krishna doesn't appear.
Krishna appears, but that Krishna is not Supreme Personality of Godhead. The source of Eti Changsha Kalapungsha, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, not that Krishna. They are Krishna's incarnations. That is, that Krishna is an incarnation of Kshirodakshayi Vishnu.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
When I face a spiritual Maharaj, when I face a spiritual difficulty, I pray to Lord Nrsimhadev and Shri Govinda, but I always have this doubt. I think that maybe the spiritual difficulty was put in my way to make me surrender to them, but now I'm trying to get away from this problem by praying to them, please make this problem go away. So maybe I'm obstructing the natural way of, maybe they had a different plan for me and I'm trying to obstruct the plan by praying by praying just to relieve my problems. So I don't understand what to do in such cases.
If you have a simple solution, do you want to take that or not? So if by praying, if you can get rid of the difficulty, do you want to be stubborn and continue? No, I want the difficulty. Right? So that's why praying to the Supreme Lord is always auspicious and beneficial. Because by praying, we are remembering Him. By praying, we are depending upon Him. And when our prayers are heard, our faith becomes established. Right?
Can I just put more specific my question? Like my parents are not very much favorable, so I try to pray to that somehow this happens in a more favorable way. And then, but some people say that you should not pray like this every time. Maybe you should you should forget about the songs of Krishna will obviously take care of this. You should try to preach and give this Krishna consciousness to others rather than always thinking about your own.
Who told you that? No, there is no harm in praying that Krishna bestows His mercy upon your parents also. That you have become a devotee, Krishna will bestow His mercy upon them. But you can accelerate that mercy by praying to Him. Right? So, charity begins at home. So why shouldn't we pray for our dear ones, near ones? Yes.
What about the Kali Yugas where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does not appear? What incarnation of Krishna is yellow?
Then you don't get an opportunity to go to Vrindavan.
Is there a yellow complexion incarnation of God?
Huh?
Is there a yellow?
Yeah, he comes as a yellow incarnation, but not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the combined form of Radha Krishna. Not that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, thank you all very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Gaur Premanande.
Hare Krishna. So, thank you everyone for listening the wonderful nectarian lecture by Srila Guru Maharaj on Krishna's pastime from Garga Samhita. We have posted the quiz link in the chat box. We have typed it, so I'm again sharing the quiz link. Devotees can attempt the quiz. It has 8 questions, and now We will read today's quote. So today's quote. Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, 9th chapter, verse 4, Ujjain on 2nd December 2007. Guru Maharaj is saying, the ultimate goal of life for a disciple is to just become a speck of dust at the lotus feet of the spiritual master. On the material platform, our false ego was as big as the Himalaya mountains, and we were certainly trying to inflate it. However, by Srila Prabhupada's causeless mercy, we have realized that the goal of life is to reduce our false ego, not to increase it. Jai Srila Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj ki Jai. So, which link we have shared it, devotees can attempt. I'm sharing the quiz report. Till now, 22 participants have participated, and so let's see. So we have 22 participants, 23 participants. Ronnie Pro is leading. Then Santika Mataji, Arpita Paul Mataji, Janvi Mataji, Radhikeshwar Das Prabhu, Sivni Chawla Mataji, Hindu Vadani Radha Mataji, Aparajita Sakhi Mataji, Suri Radhika Mataji, Charu Sakhi Mataji, Somnath Chakravarti Prabhu, Shyam Sundari Radhika Mataji, Tarun Kanti Krishna Prabhu. This way. Devotees can also see their own result while attempting the quiz. So after attempting the quiz, they can review. So Santika Mataji is in top, and then Ronnie Kapoor Prabhu, then Hindu Vandi Radha Mataji. So the score is all 5 questions correct. And so Charu Sakhi Mataji, 2 attempts are there. The devotees can attempt the quiz. This link will be active. We will share this, and this will be active for today. So thank you everyone for joining the quiz and for joining the session. Jai Srila Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj ki. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki. Jai.